Welcome to the tutorial video for integrating Instagram into the social feed add-on for Concrete 5. Instagram is one of 15 networks that you can add to your social feed block, and because it requires several extra steps, I've created this video to show you how to go about getting Instagram set up properly and working with your site and social feed. So let's say here we want to install or create a new social feed on here on a new website that I'm working on here. So it's on a fresh install of Concrete. Now Instagram, because Instagram is very different in the way that it integrates with your site from the other ones. Um, what you need to do first is simply add an occurrence of social feed to your web page. So that way it basically reserves the spot, so to speak, on your page. You don't to do this. You don't really have to enter anything in at this point, especially if you just want Instagram only. But let's say maybe you want a different maybe you might want to have more than one feed on here. So let's say we want to add a Twitter feed to it. So Instagram is found here, but right now we're not going to do anything yet, except for enable it. You do need to enable it first, since we plan on integrating it in, and we're going to go ahead and add that to the page. Okay, so we need to also publish that, so it at least shows up. And now we're going to go back into edit mode right away here so we can get this thing going. Let's say we want to change a few settings so that way we can get stuff showing up here. In this case we're going to go with the limit, which is this, so we want to show maybe up to, let's say, 8 items, okay, for all the feeds that we have. Now here we go with the Instagram. What we need to do first, there are several things that it requires. One is called an access token, another is a client ID, and then a redirect URL. The redirect URL is going to be the page that you are first adding this Instagram feed to. So now you can add Instagram on as many different social feeds as you want, but you'll need to enter the same information for these 3 fields. But you can enter different IDs on different pages of your website, or even on the same page, or even in the same feed. So our first thing that we want to do is to set up the client ID. So we're going to go here. This will take you to the Instagram developer page. And if you're doing this for the first time, you will need to register your application. And of course you will need to log in, and you can just log in with your regular account. And so once you sign in, you go to the register your application. Now if you were doing this for the first time, you would not see this. What you would see is a form with basically just 3 fields in it. The fields would be a phone, the website, and a description, and you can enter whatever you want for that. And once you do that, and that's been successful with adding, you will see a page here with manage client. So you would click here, and then you should end up on a page like this, only without anything like this on it. It'll just be blank. And since we're adding this to a new feed, now this is for my other demo for social feed, so this is for a different website. However, for this website we need to create a new client, so we're going to register a new client for the website we're working on here, and we're going to create an application name for that. It can be whatever you want it to be. Should be able to match what we're working on. And then you can just enter whatever description you want. And now the website you're actually adding it to, this needs to match wherever you're putting the website or putting the feed. Now here's a redirect URL or URI. It's the same thing. So this is the same thing as what you're going to enter here. So now remember, it's the page. I do suggest having clean URLs enabled before doing this. But if for some reason you don't have clean URLs, you would normally just use something like the index.php with the CID here. So the page would have to match, would have to look something like that part of it there. But in this case, because I have clean URLs enabled on this website, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the URL for this page, and I'm going to put that here. And the page URL is media, so we're going to register that. And now you should have that created, and what you'll need is a client ID, and here's a redirect URL. So first we're going to copy this, and we will put that in appropriate field. Whoops. And now the URL, we can just copy that if we want, or type it in, whatever you prefer. And now also, to get this active so that way it knows to start adding Instagram, we need to look, we need to add a user ID. Now you might know what the user name is, but the user ID is a numerical value, which is what's required here. Instagram also supports two other feeds as well. It supports the location feeds, and also our search tags, which is usually the hashtag followed by a tag. But here we're just going to use a user ID. So there's actually a free tool that that this links to here. You can get it real quick. You can look it up if you don't know what the user ID is. So we're going to enter our user name, hit submit, and we should see this, something like this. It should be a numerical value. I'm going to copy that, and then you have to enter an exclamation mark for a user, for your usernames here. So it's exclamation followed by the user ID, and of course if you wanted to add, you can add more than one to the same feed too if you wanted to. So you would separate that by a comma, exclamation, then the ID. But in this case, we're not going to do that. We're just going to add the one. So we're going to save this, what we have so far. And this should happen. You should be taken to a page that looks like this. You're going to want to authorize that. And now you'll notice you're taken back to this page. Now take a look up here in your browser. Okay, this is important for the final step to get Instagram officially on your website. You'll notice that this has been added to the URL. So you're gonna want to copy this part, and I'm gonna go back and edit. And we're going to put that in here, and we are all set. That is how you integrate Instagram. And as you can see, it's already showing up. In some cases it might be a little slower. It depends on your internet connection or whatever, if your web server. Sometimes it might be a little slower, and that's how you do it. Now, like I said before, you must follow these steps exactly as I did. Otherwise you will end up with, if you don't, you'll end up with some problems. Okay, so you'll end up with like a blank page, or and won't be able to get back, or it'll redirect to weird other pages. So make sure you follow exactly what I did on this video, and I will have this will also be listed in, or described in the user guide as well. So I hope this video has been helpful. Hopefully this will have explained how to go about integrating Instagram. As you can see, it works quite nicely here. So I hope this has been of use to you. Thanks for watching.